Republican members of the House Intelligence Committee held a press briefing on Friday about the FBI raid of former President Trump's Mar-A-Lago home. Reporters questioned the Republicans on whether they were concerned about the former president's handling of classified information. Representative Mike Turner said, quote, "Donald Trump has more classified information in his head than he does in his desk." The Ohio Republican also demanded the FBI and DOJ reveal to the committee what the national security threat was that prompted the raid.
Thank you, Chris. Yes.
Does anybody among the committee Republicans have a concern with unsecured classified information potentially being in a storage area in Florida? Anybody have a concern with that?
Certainly. The issue of the handling of classified information is an issue that, of course, our committee deals with and that we're very concerned with. However, the issue of classified information and the tactics that are used in this instance are the ones that we're very concerned about. There were a number of options that were available to the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI besides raiding Mar-a-Lago, the former president's home, and spending 9 hours there, including going to court and requesting that the original subpoena be enforced. There were a number of court actions and steps that could have been done that would not have resulted in agents being in Mar-a-Lago for 9 hours. Now, the one thing that we all know is Donald Trump has more classified information in his head than he does in his desk. But yet they claim that there was an immediate need to enter his residence, and our committee deals with intelligence and national security issues, so we are demanding disclosure to this committee what was the national security basis that was an apparent immediate threat requiring this action opposed to all the other actions that they could have taken. Yes.
If there were nuclear documents in that, is that justified, the FBI going to get it? And also, you say that Donald Trump has more classified information in his head. But Mar-a-Lago is also a public club, so should those documents be in that space, written down for perhaps people to access?
So this is a great question. I'm glad that you asked it. So I have served on the Strategic Forces Subcommittee and the Armed Services Committee for 20 years, including being its chair and ranking member. It depends on what the nuclear information is. You can say nuclear weapons, but there are things that are highly, highly classified. There's things that are not extremely classified, but are nonetheless classified. The other aspect with respect to access is we don't know what those documents are. I mean, I'm asking the same question you are. Attorney General Garland, Director Wray, if these things rise to the level of national security threats to which there's an immediate need to enter the residence of a former president, perhaps future candidate of president, the person who is, has run against Garland's boss, that should have a higher level of scrutiny, right? But just tell us. I'm asking the same questions you are, and if there are rational answers for it, then he needs to come to this committee, disclose what the classified information is, disclose what the national security threat is, so that we know. I'm going to pause for a second. Anybody else want to answer?
I just want to say, we've been here before. I remember getting questions on the Russia collusion for years. And so before you jump to conclusions and just accept information from sources who are not the Attorney General, who are not the Director of the FBI, let's see what the facts are. That's why transparency is key here. But many of you are the same reporters that asked us questions on Russia collusion, and look how that fell apart. I think it's really...
Republicans wait to see what the facts are before.
We are calling for the facts. Let me answer your question.
On Monday, Republicans came out and made a lot of justifications that this was completely simply political, that perhaps they planted information also.
And look what our House Republican leader said. Preserve your documents. That's about finding the facts. Each of us said we want answers and transparency. And the American people, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, and I call on our House Democrat colleagues, we deserve answers. We have oversight over these agencies on behalf of the American people. That is what we are calling for today. So before you jump to conclusions, we are asking for the answers and the facts.
Let me say something on that, too, if I could. I think it's naive to assume that the American people would not wonder, is this political? Of course they're going to wonder that. Look what's happened over the last 5 years. And look at the premise of most of your questions. Was it nuclear? Was it, heck, maybe it was aliens? That's the point. We don't know. We're asking them to tell us. And until they tell us, then we're going to have questions like this, and the presumption is going to be that it is political. There's a way to depoliticize this. Give us the information.
And when you ask the question, you're asking the question based on things that you have seen reported. And let's go back to the Russian collusion narrative and how that was carried out. Fusion GPS, etc. If we can get one media outlet to make a statement and an accusation, whether it's true or false, in that case false, then every other media outlet started running with it. Maybe not every other, but started running with it. It's been reported, it's been reported. That's what America sees. And that's the problem. And that's why we are standing here today, not accusing anyone of anything, but wanting answers. Wanting answers, same questions you have. But keep in mind how they've proven the narrative and the way they like to work things.
We have one more, and then I'm going to go to.
I want to point out the double standard here too. You know, we saw that this media frenzy about supposedly classified information. Where was this same media frenzy when there was 33,000 classified emails on a server in a bathroom with Hillary Clinton? Why didn't they raid that bathroom? Why did they work with her to find out a time, a date, and what documents they could and couldn't see? Did they do the same thing here with Trump, with President Trump? All we're saying is, was it treated the same? Was the scrutiny level the same? Right now, it doesn't appear that it was. As Ranking Member Turner said, what was your options? Did you eliminate all your options? Because you sure gave Hillary Clinton all her options when it came to classified information on an email. If it's everybody is treated equal, then good on you. If not, then you have a lot of answers to answer for, or a lot of questions to answer.
One thing we know is there's no question that the Attorney General ordered this raid upon President Biden's political rival, and that certainly rises to a higher level of scrutiny and certainly the need for oversight. Yes.